What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Strac Views back with another reaction video. I hope you all are healthy and well. Welcome all my new supporters. Today we'll be reacting to Don't Lecture Me in Public. PM Carney reveals key lessons from first meeting with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is my first time. Who is Xi Jinping? Can y'all let me know in the comments, please?
Managed to do. So what's your game plan for managing Mr. Trump?
Oh, nah. That's how we start off the video? This was recommended. I'm like, wait, what is this video recommended? I'm thinking we about to hear Mark Carney's words on such and such, his new plans and everything. This is literally a video about Donald Trump.
To do. So what's your game plan for managing Mr. Trump?
It's 3 seconds in, and we're talking about a game plan, how to manage Donald Trump. Wait, so we're going to be learning about how Mark Carney handles him? How do you deal with Trump and how do you handle him? Because you know he be trolling Carney, bro. He be trying to piss him off. And Carney don't be going. You cannot take him out of his character. The only people who can really do that is the reporter.
Wow. Okay. Look at the 21 minutes. I'll be able to swing that, stretch this out.
It's time for another adjacent answer.
Exactly. No, the game. But look, I think the first thing is one, respect, but not obsequiousness. Right? He's president for a reason. He's had success in other areas. He's eminently, elected twice. You would say elected 3 times. He does, but very successful politician, what I find is that he appreciates, particularly in private, being direct and discussing issues and being clear where your position is. So that is crucial. You don't want to, I'm going to say something very obvious, but it's important. You don't want to say anything in public that you can't back up. You might choose your words. One chooses language for the audience, right? I mean, that's true in any circumstance. So you're careful in terms of the language that you use with him, but in a way that's consistent with what you really think. And then it's quite different in private. I know. It's much more.
I know. Oh, I know. He doing all that for the media, for the TV. He think his country behind the screens root for him when he be saying all this BS. When they get behind closed doors, I know it don't be the same energy. Nothing but respect. They listening to each other. Nobody's cutting nobody off. Trump ain't making them crazy statements. I know he said some crazy things to Carney, though, behind doors, because Carney has mentioned it. Like, yeah, he said some things, but I'm not going to bring it up. But am I happy? Oh, no. Yeah, so he is very straightforward and direct. He is. But he's not accurate when it comes to TV, though. When it comes to, like, providing certain information on live television, he starts to, like, exaggerate the statistics a lot, Nothing he says is the truth. It's his own opinion. It's a lie, matter of fact. It's false. It's false claims that he's literally putting out into the world. And we got people that voted for him that's running with it, bro. They're not even curious. These people within the United States, they're not inquisitive. Man, I'm looking it up if I don't understand it. These people going right with it. Why? Because the leader of the country, Donald Trump, said so. Donald Trump said so, and I guess he's smarter than you. He has more common sense for you. Mama said you a fool if you cannot think for yourself. Grandma said the same thing to me. You are a fool if you cannot think for yourself. Word up. You better start researching if you don't understand something. I don't care if it's a word. You better look it up. If you look up so much of the BS that Trump has said on live TV and fact check it, you realize that there's no facts coming out of his mouth. It's all lies. It's all false. Certain stories that he has spoken about on TV, you can look up those stories But the things that he have stated within those stories was completely inaccurate. You look it up, it's completely something different. Yeah, he's talking about that topic, but these numbers are wrong. I mean, these numbers and events are way off. You know what I'm saying? It's blasphemy at its finest. And I really do appreciate how Mark Carney speaks. A lot of people, I've had a few people in the comments get on me, like, and he really motivated me. He really inspired me to slow down when talking. It's a pause. And it takes some time to think before I speak. The president don't do that, you know? Take the time to think before you speak. A lot of people might be like, oh, what's wrong with him? He can't talk or da-da-da-da-da. No. Think before you speak. And this is what Donald Trump need to do. I've been doing this more. I really appreciate, reacting and watching Mark Carney's speeches. Hearing him out. Seriously. Takes his time. And when I hear, he takes his time, I know he about to say nothing but facts. He's looking for the best thing to say. Not just, you just talking and stuff is just coming out your mouth. You don't even know what you're talking about. And that's what I feel. That's what I feel we get over here on all our news channels. They feed us what they want and what they feel because it's biased. And same with Donald Trump. They're going to feed us what he wants and what he thinks and his own opinions because it's biased. What else you want me to say about it? This is Strac keeping it real, baby. It's a Strac keeping it real. I really do appreciate Mark, though, for real. Like, he really been inspiring me. Like, okay, slow down real quick and think before you speak, you know? It's okay to pause and think about your next word. You don't have to keep trying to flow and you start talking crazy. And I really realized that. You need to take notes. Not you guys. Not anyone watching this video. I'm talking about Trump. Take notes, bro. We have literal videos that we have reacted to of people fact-checking Trump after his speeches now. It's a thing now. Fact-check him. Right after the speech, fact-check him. I bet there's going to be a video. My goodness.
And then it's
I'm not going to go on a rant.
It's quite different.
My only balls.
In private. It's much more, he is more interested in your viewpoint on various things in private, and that creates an ability to work
You got to put on a tough act. I just said I wasn't going to pause, bro. You got to put on a tough act. Forgive me, guys. Thank you for your patience. You got to put on a tough act when you're speaking in front of your country, on live national television. When you're going head up against Carney's big dog, we buried him. It's about competition. But when you get behind those closed doors, you want to hear him out. You know why he want to hear him out? Because he really trying to hear his good ideas. He really all in for the good relationship, but at the same time, he want to run it all and want to be in charge. Because he's not going to get what he wants if he's the nice guy. It's like good cop, bad cop. They say this on the outs. Did you mean it? You get behind closed. It's like get into an argument with your spouse. Y'all get into an argument and y'all both showboating going off, or maybe just one person running that mouth crazy because there's people around. You showing off, you showing out. When you get behind closed doors with your partner, oh, I love you, oh my gosh, I can't believe sometimes we have our ups and downs, and I hope you can forgive me for the things I say. And no, and I'm not trying to hear that. And you want to be all lovey-dovey and you want to understand and hear that person out. But what about out there, though, where it really counted? Where it really counted?
Things in private, and that creates an ability to work through things. But it's not easy, to be clear. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
All right, let me ask you about your relationship with another important leader, Xi Jinping. You visited Beijing recently, along with many other Western countries. And when you were there, you...
Xi Jinping? I'm still trying to figure out.
Let me ask you about your relationship with another important leader, Xi Jinping. You visited...
Wait, that's a leader? That's a leader? That's a leader? Jinping. What is or who is Xi Jinping? Xi Jinping is a person born June 15th, 1953. It's the top leader of the People's Republic of China. He is often described as the most powerful Chinese leader since Mao. Am I saying that right? Mao Zedong Please let me know if I'm pronouncing these names right. First time actually learning and hearing about this man. It's my first time. Some more learning we need to do.
Beijing recently, along with many other Western countries. And when you were there, you said, I think, that Canada's partnership with China sets us up well for the New World Order. Now, I get it. That's risk management. Everybody is, when you have one partner that seems to be erratic and reliable, it makes impeccable sense to deepen your connections with the other hegemon. But what about the risks of dealing with an authoritarian country like China? How do you manage that? Because both Australia and Canada have been subject to tariffs and attempted coercion over the years.
Well, it's interesting. The first time as Prime Minister that I met with President Xi, which was at the APEC summit in November, he chose to spend the first 10 plus minutes discussing how he wanted the personal interaction to be. And if I were to summarize, no surprises. If you really care about something, be clear. Don't lecture me. I mean, he didn't say it this way, but I interpret it. Don't lecture me in public. Bring issues to me directly. Then, I mean, there is some recognition, obviously, the responsibilities of democratic leaders to be transparent in public, but don't start in public and then try to backfill. So,
exactly.
So that's the first point. The second thing, I would say we take from Australia a number of lessons in terms of how to engage with China, which are consistent with what he chose, that interaction, which is to be very clear about where we're looking to cooperate and where we're not. So where, if I call it guardrails, but on the relationship. And that goes to the recalibration of our relationship with China, which had, for various reasons, valid reasons, had deteriorated, and it was time to reset that. But from a very low base, and a low base in terms of our actual level of integration with China. We're not heavily integrated with China. We're not running a big risk in terms of increasing our activity with China. And to be clear, the areas where we're cooperating, agri-food, in the broad aspects, it's very much it's in both our interest. Like there's a very strong alignment. And so the risk of being hung up on that is lessened. And then from our perspective on clean energy, broadly speaking, we need some partnerships there to help us with the scale of the build-out we're going to do. It's not going to be uniquely China. It could be India. It could be European partners. It could be U.S. partners. It could be, actually, I had some meetings today with some Australian partners. You can probably guess some of them. And so that China comes into that in that regard. We will have, and now let me do a contrast if I could, which is obviously with Australia we will talk to and about absolutely anything from intelligence, to other cooperation, defense cooperation in the deepest sense. Anything's on the table, and much we'll do. India would be somewhere in the middle, wider than China, but obviously nowhere near as deep as Australia. So there's certain aspects in aerospace where there's opportunities with India, which we wouldn't, with China. Certain aspects around, actually there's more than certain aspects, there's a variety of aspects around AI where we would cooperate with India, in part because, to go back to the way we're approaching the world, we need to build resilience in AI. That doesn't mean we're default wholly reliant on hyperscalers as strong as they are, and certainly not, we don't look for AI cooperation with China, but we wouldn't want to go to the other side.
All right, let me ask you about India, as you've just mentioned it. You've just come from India. In the recent past, Canada's had a fraught relationship with India. You're looking to change the terms of it. Tell us a bit about Mr. Modi. He's another one of these big figures that is dominating international politics at the moment. You've just spent a couple of days with him. What was your assessment of him?
Well, there's look, the guy he's unique. I would say, 25 years. I was telling Glenn Stevens this, 25 years, and he has not taken a day off. 25 years straight as either chief minister in Gujarat or prime minister. Not one day off. Every weekend he is out, like you, Francois Philippe. Every weekend he's out campaigning. He gets 250,000 people at his rallies. You get 25, but that's that's good. That's good in rural. C'est pas mal. C'est pas mal du tout. But so first off is just the level of the work that's there. Second thing, he gave me a hack that everyone follow this up, which is again just on a personal level, the impressions, which is he's a person who is very, and I've known this from before, but it's interesting just the interaction over time. He's very focused on delivery. I'll call it to the rural household, but to, we would say in Canada, Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde, the person on the street sort of thing. So a huge motivation for the financial reform transformations, the payment system transformation, UPI and other things, was to get money directly, as you know, directly to individuals without leakage, shall we say, in the system in real time, and to bring people, hundreds of millions of people into the formal economy. And he's very focused on that aspect of delivery. So here he's up at this global level, operating, India rising, challenges, but much positive, but a leader who keeps bringing it back down to that level. So there's much to see there. He didn't say this, but I could see him saying this, and any Indian leader saying that, talking about the hegemons using their authority, the rules-based order, all that stuff, the sort of thesis that I've been outlining, their attitude would be, well, what took you so long to figure that out? I mean, we've been non-aligned since regaining independence in 1947. So it's in that regard, we found, colleagues were there, the discussions around the areas where we could cooperate in a collaborative way and why that was in both of our, not just economic issue, but strategic interests.
So basically, like creating relationships with other countries, not solely on everything, but more so like what the U.S. refused to agree on with Canada, specifically with Carney. He's going to take his ideas and what he truly wants elsewhere to another country basically and propose it to that country, that leader, and see if they agree with it and what they want for their country, and can they both have an equal agreement for that little one thing or maybe two things. And then on to this country, maybe they believe in this, or they won't agree with what you just, okay, maybe India won't make a certain agreement with Canada like how China did with Canada. So we're going to do business with China and we're going to make certain agreements. Then we're going to do business with India and make certain agreements that help the both of us. Then we're going to go to Australia. Instead of solely trying to do it with the U.S. and negotiate everything so that we get in everything we want, never going to happen. You got to branch off and go to other countries, man. Yeah. And he's literally creating relationships, starting back up like the relationships that this world has had back then. This man is legendary. He went out of his way and visited these countries and met with these world leaders. You know how highly respectable this man is around the world? You know how highly respectable he is? He popped out to any country, he's shaking hands with you. And let's talk business. How can we better our economies? How can we strengthen this? Our relationship. How can we move further so that what we are experiencing right now, because, the U.S. has attacked certain countries, we won't have to go through it again. We'll have to go through it again. And for the countries that weren't attacked, now look, doors are opened. Bigger and better opportunities are brought to their attention that they can feast upon on now, Something permanent, something lifelong and long going, longevity with Canada. Because Canada's not breaking that bond of that relationship. They made it very clear. Either in this or you're not. Facts. Now that's a ride or die relationship. That's a ride or die partner, bro. For real. You don't really hear that from too many.
Straightforward, absolutely not preaching to the converted, but just aligned in the thinking around it and creating a huge element. Last point, if I may, because you started on the nature of the relationship and the very real challenges that we've had. There is an issue with a number of countries that affect our countries said different, and there are different aspects of this: foreign interference, transnational repression, cross-border security issues. We are much more aggressive much more cognizant of these issues, much more aggressive on these issues. And the way we look at it is our approach is vigilance and engagement. And vigilance is having the right laws, having the law enforcement, monitoring for this, addressing it, calling it out, addressing issues when they come up, protecting Canadians in our case. But at the same time, having engagement with these countries so that we can have the security dialogue, so we can go directly to the individual, so we can call things out and start to address them, because vigilance alone isn't going to be enough. And so we're moving. We've made a lot of progress in the last 11 months with India, both economically, but also in the broader security relationship. More to be done, without question.
And that's the whole
Another
purpose
leader
of
you've
this
had a
all.
lot to do with is President Macron of France.
Yes.
You will have seen he gave a speech this week where he revised France's nuclear doctrine. And in his speech, he said, to be free, you have to be feared. To be feared, you have to be strong. Do you agree with that? Do you think that in this world that countries like Canada and Australia need to beef up their defence expenditure, make their militaries more lethal?
Well, so that aspect, the way you...
I'm gonna keep it 100. I feel like their military is already more lethal. We're not worried about their budget, their defense budget, or how much ammunition, artillery, and armor they got, the vehicles. I'm more worried about the soldiers themselves. You know, these people are very intellectual. You know, they think very differently from how the U.S. soldiers think, and we've seen that in times of war, battle, where we needed help, and we've called on other countries for support. I think their mentality, you know, the experience within those people is what makes them stronger. Not the numbers or the money or the artillery. Well, that stuff has, a lot to do with it, but it's the people controlling it all. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to war with these guns, this, artillery and these vehicles, or are you going to war with people that have to use such things and know how to properly use them, and they have better strategic ideas that we don't have, more experience, as to where they need less numbers. They don't need as high as a defense budget as the United States. But I do feel like countries are strong. They may not be where they want to be, physically within their country. I understand there's more to progress, but I don't sleep on them. I don't sleep at all.
Their military is more lethal.
Well, so that aspect, the way you ended the question, yes, is the short answer. And we're doing it. And just to put some numbers on it, we will double our defense expenditure starting from start of last year to the end of this decade. So literally double in dollar terms. We will, overall, we will get to, as per the NATO definition, 5% of GDP by 2035. I'll be clear that, and this is a relevant point for cooperation, there's a 1.5% of that 5%, percentage points of the 5%, is so-called dual use. So it can be an AI, cyber, other resilience-related dual use ports, things like that. And we need to do that. Look, we have a NATO commitment. We've made that commitment. We'll move towards it. We're not going to spend money on defense just to spend money on defense.
Exactly.
The issue, the challenge is...
That's it? That's it, man? Mark. No.
Money on defense.
That's it? I mean, that was a great way to end it all. We're not going to blow all this money on defense. Because we done seen countries do it. It don't go well. It don't go well, bro. It don't go well. You be in debt. You got all these people enlisted. You paying them, and they ain't going nowhere but staying on base and working out and eating the food and stuff. Living life and going home on the weekends. Like, a lot of stuff like that. We need to change a lot within our military so we can get out of debt. We can train these guys better, seriously, because they are fighting for us. They are fighting for us. Can we train them the best we possibly can? Damn. Seriously. We should never have to call another country for help. We should never. The other countries should be calling us. We got the most money, right? We got the most people, right? We got the most artillery. We got the most ammo. We got the most armor. We got all that, right? We ain't got the intellectual. We do not have the intellectual planning, though. We don't. And can I say that's probably the number one most important thing out of everything I just mentioned. And that's free. That's free. Somebody gotta think about it first, then put it on a piece of paper. Then y'all go out and execute the training. It's free. Guys, please feel free to share let me like this video. Feel free to share your honest thoughts and opinions on this. This was amazing. Highly, highly recommend it. Thank you for your patience, guys. I know I'll be going on rants and I'll be talking a lot throughout these videos, but if I honestly have something to say, you gotta understand, I'm not pausing the video just to say some BS, guys. Just to commentate for you, because I'd get pissed myself if I was watching me. Like, can you shut up and play the video? You know what I'm saying? If I pause, I truly got something to say. I gotta speak on it. I can't wait to the end, because I'm gonna forget it all. Or I'm gonna go on a long behind rant, and I'm gonna just give you everything at once. Y'all gonna be like, Strac, shut up and take a break. Take a deep breath, please. I love y'all so much. And I mean that with all my heart. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, turn all post notifications on. Follow the Twitch. Subscribe to all my other YouTube channels in the description down below. You don't catch me on this channel, you gonna catch me on another one. You don't catch me on that channel, you catch me on another one. You don't catch me on that one, then guess what? You catch me on another one. And should I keep going? We're gonna continue to make more and more channels. Start up the consistent live streams. Tomorrow we are starting up consistent live streams. Friday starts that schedule. And I hope to catch you all in the next one. Stay safe, all my peoples. Add your honest thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. You guys know I love reading comments. And you may actually mention some things that weren't mentioned throughout this video or straight directly out of my mouth. Stay safe, everyone.